Hello everyone. Today we will see the influence of external environment. Yes, external environment we have to provide a patient in a good atmospheric uh, environment. So, atmospheric environment is an ideal temperature. The person does not feel chilly, but it should be sufficient. It should be sufficiently warm enough to cause perspiration, and a room temperature ranging from 68 to 72 degree Fahrenheit should be considered as a comfortable. Then humidity is the amount of the moisture in the air. The effect of the evaporation of the moisture from the skin, a humidity of 40 to 60% considered as a comfortable. Then one by one we will see there is a air movement. Ventilation means movement in the air. The chief purpose of the ventilation is to supply the fresh air and to maintain a proper humidity. Air is a motion increases the radiation of the heat from the skin and the improved circulation and respiration. The velocity of the air improvement should be 15 to air movement should be 15 to 45 feet per minute or 1 to 3 miles per hour. Air may keep in motions by opening doors and windows and by the use of fans and air conditioners. The air movement should not be much to cause drought. So in that case, air movement, ventilation should be there. There should be a 15 to 45 feet miles per minute. Air movement should be there, and proper conditioning, proper fans are available there so that the patient may feel comfort. Then the lighting. Yes, there should be a light. If the patient is in a hospital, there should be a proper light. The amount of light is an important factor in comfort. We cannot say the patient, if we can't we can stay in a dark, so how could the patient stay in a dark? The amount of light is an important factor in comfort. It is provided by the nature or artificial light. Avoid direct light on the face and eyes. Prevent the glare. Artificial light should not be too strong for a reading. Otherwise, we will lose our vision. Then, remember, it is difficult for the patient to rest when there is a excessive light. He will not be able to read and write when there is a dim light. The amount of light depend upon the use of the light, the kind of work being done, conditions of the patient, age of the patient, and the time of the patient. The patient if conscious, control of light should have within his reach which he can control. Yes, if the light is there, it should be control of the patient's reach. If patient is having a long height, patient can manage. If patient is a short, it is very difficult to put off the light or put on the light. So we have to manage with that also. And proper light should be there so that patient can feel the comfort when he is in a hospital. Then noise. Noise produces the irritability. If the patient is sleeping, there is a noise, patient can't sleep and patient may get the disturbances. So restlessness, fatigue and exhaustion. In an accurately ill patient, noise interferes with the sleep. On the contrary, and melodious sound includes pleasure. The degree of noise may be reduced by various measures. Noise caused by the friction may be reduced by the lubrication. Use of rubber tires and casters for trolleys and wheelchair reduce the sound when moving furniture. Make eco-proof room. Avoid dropping object, loud talking, laughing and heavy walking with the shoes within the hearing of ill persons should be avoided. Whispering is also not good, as it tends to cause apprehension and increasing in the patient. So when we are in a working place, we should be very careful about how we will talk to each other, our co-workers and colleagues. And because near the nurses station there is a patient room, patient is sitting, patient may feel, patient have to get the comfort. But if we are talking, we are moving with a high high voice of shoes, just like a sandal and all, which is producing so much sound. So we have to avoid that, and we have to whispering also. We are talking, that also we should avoid to prevention of the patient's disturbances. Then comes the purify of the air. Dust cause significant hazards to the patient. Dust in hospital may be laden with the microorganisms which cause infection, in additions to irritation of the respiration tract of the perspirating allergies reaction. To control the dust, it is important to avoid those activities that strip up dust, such as dusting and dry dusters, and sweeping, damp dusting and cleaning. Following bed linen and gently shaking them rather than flapping them. Restricting the cigarettes, smoking, and above all providing proper ventilations and ample spacing of the bed maintain the purify of the air. Yes, when we are setting a patient unit in a one room, there is a 5-6 beds, we have to maintain the space. We have to maintain the space between one bed to another bed, and we have to say to the patient to avoid the smoking. You should not smoke in a ward. And when we are flapping the bed sheet, when we are shaking the bed sheet, we have to be gentle, we have to shake, so that the dust should not go from one bed to another bed. Now comes the elimination of unpleasant odor. Yes, good ventilation, cleanliness, proper disposal of excreta and rubbish are necessary to eliminate unpleasant odors. Then comes the water supply and sewage disposal. There should be a provision for safe water supply and disposal of the excreta. Then aesthetic factors. The environment become attractive. It appeals to the series where we are conscious or not. The design or arrangement of the room contributes to its harmony. Through skillful use of color, the room can be made attractive. Color preference vary with age, sex, and race. Flowers, flower wash, picture, and curtains add to the pleasant outlook of the room. Aesthetic consideration should be include freedom of the unpleasant sight, bedpans, urinals, soiled dressings, and used linens, etc. should be removed from the sick room immediately. As the patient is leave the room, we have to remove all the soiled linens, all the used articles by the patient, so that there should be a fresh air and not unpleasant odor there. So this much was the influence of the external environment. When the patient is coming to the ward, we must see the patient is get the good environment. There should be a air movement should be there, in which room we are going to keep the patient, and there should be a proper lighting should be there, and that room is avoided from the free from noise, and purity of the air is there. Should be a window is there, so that patient can open the window, or that the attendant can open the window and fresh airs can come. And should be a elimination of proper unpleasant odor. They have to remove all the unpleasant odor, and proper disposal of excreta should be there, and water supply and sewage disposable also be there, so that this should be provision for the safe water supply and the disposal of the excreta. And comes the aesthetic factors. Aesthetic factors, there the environments become attractive, so that when the patient is come, we can keep in a room fresh flowers and with a flower wash, and we can arrange the room with a good lights according to the age, sex, and color of the patient's interest. And room can be made attractive. Color preference vary from the age, sex, and the race. And flower vase, picture, and curtains add to the pleasant outlook of the room. Okay, I think you understand the fluence of the external environment in meeting special needs of the patient. Okay, if you like my video, like and support it. Okay, bye bye.